Hello and welcome to what I call a new video, and today we are going to be talking about Chara. This video is a little bit different from usual, because this video is serious. I am under the belief that the best way to define Chara in the video game of Undertale is to first define Frisk. Firstly, we must establish what exactly Frisk is. Frisk is distinctly not a self-insert. We know this through this dialogue right here.
Hurry! Take a deep breath! There's nothing left to worry about. There's one thing. One being with the power to erase everything. Everything everyone's worked so hard for. You know who I'm talking about, don't you? That's right. I'm talking about you. So please, just let them go. Just let Frisk be happy. Well, that's all. See you later, Chara.
Through this exchange alone, it is very obvious that we are not Frisk, and Frisk has their own wants and needs outside of the player. However, in that same conversation, Flowey still refers to us as Chara. So one may assume that we are in fact Chara. But let's see if that holds up in Chara's scene.
Greetings. I am Chara. Thank you. Your power awakened me from death. My human soul, my determination, they were not mine, but yours. At first I was so confused. Our plan had failed, hadn't it? Why was I brought back to life? You, with your guidance, I realized the purpose of my reincarnation. Power. Together, we eradicated the enemy and became strong. HP, attack, defense, gold, XP, love. Every time a number increases, that feeling, that's me, Chara. Now we have reached the absolute. There is nothing left for us here. Let us erase this pointless world and move on to the next.
Through that dialogue, it should be abundantly clear that we are also not Chara. The reason why Asriel calls us Chara seems pretty obvious to me. We are not actually inhabiting Frisk's body. We are inhabiting Chara while lending them our soul and controlling Frisk's body. I've come to that conclusion because of Chara's dialogue right here. Chara is saying that they were reincarnated, but not with their soul, with our soul. And if we are the one lending Chara our determination and soul, that means that the red soul is actually the soul of the player and not the soul of Frisk. However, that theory would also mean that Chara is stuck to us the entirety of the game, not only in the genocide route. The reason I believe that they don't speak up in any other run other than the genocide run is because of their purpose. In the genocide run, they believe they have found a purpose, the purpose of the RPG mechanics of Undertale. Chara here is actively saying that not only does Chara stand for every kill you get, but also every gold you receive and everything else that goes up. Chara in this scene is the representation of the RPG grind. And that is why I believe there are two Charas. The first fallen human Chara and the representation of RPG mechanics Chara. We only ever get to see one of them, the representation of RPG mechanics, but the character Chara we get to hear a lot about. But how can a character turn into a representation simply by reincarnating? Well, that is very obvious. Chara does not have a soul. They are actively borrowing ours. And my theory is that this whole borrowing a soul thing doesn't actually work just as well as you might think. I don't believe Chara has the capacity humanity to have emotions, just like Flowey. The Chara we see in the game that talks to us directly and destroys the entire world seems to be very different from the Chara that was friends with Asriel. That Chara actively wanted monsters to escape, probably to have some sort of twisted revenge on humanity, but they still cared about monsters. The Chara that stands in front of us right here is actively calling monsters enemies, and destroys the entire world without regard for literally anyone. The person standing in front of us at the end of the game does not appear to be the same person that stood in front of Asriel before they were doing their stupid goddamn plan. But if you're not convinced that the player and Chara are two separate beings, Chara actually has more dialogue for us.
Chara. The demon that comes when people call its name. It doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter where. Time after time I will appear, and with your help we will eradicate the enemy and become strong. HP, attack, defense, gold, experience, love. Every time a number increases, that feeling, that's me, Chara. But you and I are not the same, are we? This soul resonates with a strange feeling. There is a reason you continue to recreate this world. There is a reason you continue to destroy it. You are racked with a perverted sentimentality. I cannot understand these feelings any longer. Despite this, I feel obligated to suggest, should you choose to create this world once more, another path would be better suited. Now, partner, let us send this world back into the abyss.
Chara here actively says that the player and Chara are two separate beings, to the point where the player can do multiple genocides in a row even though Chara personally wouldn't. Chara also says that Chara is the demon that will come when you call its name, of course seeing themselves as a nothing more than something to be called upon when the time arises. Again playing into the RPG elements of it all. However, now I want to take a step back. Chara, is that the real name? The true name? Or is it character? Or is it whatever your name is? Because remember, you are the one naming Chara. You are the one controlling Chara. It isn't Chara's name which is called upon when death strikes true. It is your name. The name you gave the fallen human. The name most people would name after themselves. It is not Chara's name that is the demon. It is you. Chara is both their own character, a representation of RPG mechanics, and a representation of you, and the choices you make throughout Undertale. Chara is an extreme in every aspect, but you're the one who let that happen. You are the one who made the choice to kill, and to kill again. Maybe morbid curiosity, maybe you wanted to find Sans Undertale. But at the end of the day, you are the person responsible for all of this. Just because in the end you have no choice but to eradicate the world because you're not the one in control any longer. It only got that bad because you kept making Chara stronger. The name in the bottom left corner of your battle screen never changes. It will always be Chara. It will always be your name. Cue the clock.